Yeah, my team. Uh, I would like to inform you a lot of things today. I'm breaking down one by one um, about the goats. Last video, I talked about the costs of involved in bringing up an animal. You remember the projection I gave you was about getting over 200 and 90 something millions from 100 gods. And guys were asking me, Hamis, what are the involved costs? So now I'm calculating up the involved costs. Now I calculated for you the involved costs on free range. Free range, I told you many times, it's going away. Let your animal go, look for the feeds by itself, and feed by itself. You don't know what they are feeding on. And today I want to take you through those involved costs on a zero grazing, whereby a goat is calculated what it is eating. So I'm going to explain to you. Basically, I'm explaining to you today what are the involved costs there. The involved costs there is all about the makeup or the come up. How does we get the costs from feeds? Because on zero grazing, basically, you're looking at the feeds. So I want to mention about the feeds, and I want to mention what are the involved costs of the feeds uh, um, um, per year. Sorry, per goat. Here we are going to discuss about an individual goat on the feeding, or what we have to do is only to discuss what is the involved cost to bring up a kilo of alfalfa, to bring up a kilo of sugar graze, to bring up a kilo of Chloris Guyana. Those are the involved costs that I want to put in place. So you get your pen, get ready, because the add up is going to be yourself. It's not going to be mine, because I want you to calculate. I want you to be in the class. I want you to explain a lot of things. So basically, we are going to look at the acreage. We are looking at 1 acre, and you tell us how much it can bring up per kilo, and then finally we go on. So I've been explaining to you that the involved cost of bringing up an acre of alfalfa. Because now let's first look at which kind of grasses, which kind of pastures are we looking at. Basically, we are looking at like around 3 grasses, because remember, these browsers. By browsing, we mean an animal that jumps on a tree and then feeds on those leaves. In nature, these guys are called browsers, and these guys are leaf takers. They don't eat a lot, but they look for grasses which has more protein. These guys, the muscles, like the way you see the sternum of this goat, it is showing you that it's really eating what they call a protein, because that is a muscle. But the moment you see an animal having a shining body, that means that animal also has what they call a fat. So like, to bring up like this animal, that's what I'm trying to discuss. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. We are trying not to divert these guys from browsing or getting the protein grasses to have the same but made up in our own way, because not all of us we shall be able to maybe have acreage, a lot of acreage or something. So what are the involved costs? What are the involved grasses that we really need? One, I want you to write a grass called alfalfa. Also try to check it. It's called Lucerne or alfalfa. It means the same. There is no any serious farmer in this world that is really doing a lot of serious farming and it doesn't have alfalfa. If you don't have that grass on your farm, let it be for rabbit, let it be for chicken, let it be for goats, let it be for cows, let it be for piggery. You really need to have it, because that is what they call protein. A protein in the body makes up the muscle. You might have the muscle of an animal and you have no fat. That means your grasses are more of a protein and you have no carbohydrates. Carbohydrates, those are the energies. So in the grasses that provides protein, those are the alfalfa is the best. And then we have also bracharia has some part of the protein, and then also chloris. But like in the makeup of the goat, muscle and the fat, look at the grasses more, because these guys utilizes grasses more than even silage. Silage is supposed to be, let's say, a quarter. If a goat is taking a kilo, so quarter of that kilo is maybe those grasses, silage, and so on. Then 50% is supposed to be protein right from the alfalfa. And then also you can add up their chloris, you can add their bracharia, because both of them have more carbohydrates. So basically, we are looking at these grasses. I want you to look at alfalfa. I want you to look at bracharia molato. I want you to look at chloris guyana. So like for a farmer who is doing zero grazing, it is a must that you have to have all that. Because if you don't have that, then you go wrong. I told you many times that we need to have what we call the marbled meat. Like in some countries, they balance with that feed to make sure that they get what they call marbled meat. These guys are really yearning to go and harvest. Let them go. We have no any problem with them. So we call what they call the marbled meat. Marbled meat is a meat that has a protein, sorry, that has a muscle, but as well has even a fat. So fats always come as a result of carbohydrates. If we have a lot of carbohydrates in the body, it brings what they call the fats. And then if you have a lot of protein, it builds up what they call the muscle. So the muscle is made up of protein, and the fat is made up of carbohydrates. So basically, in those three grasses I've explained to you, that is the alfalfa, chloris, and Rhodes grass, that which we call the chloris guyana and bracharia molato, are enough for goats because they have the energy and they all have the protein. So what is the required amount of money to bring up an acre of, let's say, chloris guyana, bracharia molato, or even alfalfa? As I've been telling you on my live, alfalfa, a kilo is around 180,000, let's say, and we really need 3 kilos. We really need 3 kilos to plant an acre. But an acre, let's say it's a grass. It's a bush. You need people to clear it. Opening it up, it needs 100,000. Then also, from opening it up, you really need a tractor. The tractor will do the first plow at 150,000 and the second plow at 150,000. That means the land is ready to be planted. So far, that is over 400,000 per an acre. Then basically, after that, what are other costs? The other costs we have, let's say 300, no, we have 150 times 3, that is the seeds, that is also 450. So we are looking at the 450, the 400 plus the 450 of the seeds. Then those people that will plant will need 60,000, and those people that will weed it will also need 60,000. So we have the 400,000, which is the seeds, plowing, first plow and second plow. Then plus the seeds, which are 450, which are the 3 kilos. Then also add another cost of planting, which is 60,000 to an acre, and also put another 60,000 of weeding. You get, put another 60,000 of harvesting. So that is around 1,030,000 involved in the first harvest. So alfalfa mostly in some places does not bring you a lot of production, most of for the first harvest. Let's say if an acre is giving us, let's say, a ton, and we have involved 1,030,000 to bring up that ton. this divided by 1000 kilos. And that means a kilo of alfalfa will come out at 1030 shillings at the first harvest. So then the second, we shall ably consider the second, because the second we shall only involve very small costs, which is 60,000 of weeding an acre. Then we shall also invest another 60,000 of of harvesting. That is 120,000. So 120,000 divided by, if it is giving us, because the second harvest, you know, when you cut alfalfa, you know, it sprouts. The secondary growth is going to give you even more branches, which is going to give you more production. That means if it gave us 1000 kilos, this time is going to give us 2000. So that means 120 you have invested, divided by 2000 kilos. That means a kilo of alfalfa is going to come out at 60 shillings. You get it? That means if a goat is eating 2 kilos of this time was 2. And then remember, when you're doing Chloris Guyana, it's cheaper. You can only invest 770 shillings, because the cost of, let me just take you through the cost of bringing up the first harvest of Chloris Guyana. A kilo of Chloris Guyana is 36,000, and you need 7 kilos per an acre. That is 252,000. Then add on the cost of opening the land. We said all that will cost us 400,000. First, second plow, and then also opening of the land. Then add on the weeding, and then weeding 60,000. Even harvesting is 60,000. Even planting 60,000. So that means 60,000. That's 180. So plus 180,000. That means that is 580. You get it? That you can involved in alfalfa. Sorry, Chloris. Chloris is more cheaper to start as compared to alfalfa, but alfalfa is more important than even all of that. So basically, that's what I was trying to explain to you. That and the production of Chloris, actually, it will give you around 360 bales. 360 bales. A bale is when you cut the grass, make it wilt, then crush it. Sorry, put it in the box, compact it, and then you come out with that bale. That bale is always 18 kilos. So if you have 18 kilos times 380, you will see that Chloris will give you more production, which is the around 6 tons. You get? So basically, it's cheaper. Those are cheaper grasses. So basically, if that means a kilo of Chloris, it will come out in around 40 shillings or 50 shillings, because for it produces a lot, but you know, it doesn't have that big nutritional value. So if it is if it's the same with the Bracharia, if it can give you that big outturn and then you're investing less, let's say a kilo of Chloris is coming out at 50 shillings and a kilo of Bracharia is also coming at 50 shillings, then alfalfa is coming out, let's say, at 150 shillings, probably that in the second harvest. That means your goat will be eating, let's say, around maximum around 54,000. And a goat that is on zero grazing for 6 months, and you're feeding it at that much, let's say you've spent, the goat has eaten 540,000 shillings, no, 54,000 shillings plus the cost. You remember the cost I told you about this, the free range of treatment, vaccination, deworming, which was 25,000. That means a goat is eating 79,000 in a period of 6 months. And if you're selling it, let's say a goat on zero grazing in how many goat on zero grazing in 6 months, it can give you over 50 kilos. Let's say if it's giving you 20 kilos of meat and you're selling it at 250. So do 250, you're selling divide by let's say divide by 250,000 minus actually the investment, which is 79,000. So probably you are getting a profit of 171. Let's say times 100 goats. That is 17 millions divided by 6 months. That means your monthly pay can probably be 2,850,000. So those are some of the involved costs. So I'm going to bring for you more costs of housing and so on, which is not repeated always. So let me just wish you the best, you guys, and bye-bye for now.